Okay, we're up to mitzvah number 4. This has got, we're going to see in this parsha, which is, it's found in Parshas Boy, the mitzvah, it's a Taryag Yud Beis Pasuk Beis. It's a mitzvah of HaChodesh Hazelachem Rosh Chadashim. This month shall be for you the beginning of months. Now in the parsha of Sedra, Parshas Boy, there's going to be 9, actually 20 mitzvahs, but 9 are going to be mitzvahs saseh, and 11 are going to be mitzvahs le saseh. 9 performative, 11 prohibitive. Now this mitzvah that we're referring to is the mitzvah for Beis Din, for the Jewish court, to sanctify each new month and to set the dates of all the Yomim Tovim according to their sanctification. Meaning we set the dates once we know when the beginning of the month is going to be. I mean, today we have a calendar. It's a whole different story today because Hillel, not my brother-in-law Hillel, but during the times right after the Beis Hamikdash, he found a way to, which we already knew too. We already knew that there was the whole concept of a calendar and how to set the calendar. But he instituted that instead of Beis Din being the ones to sanctify it specifically, and we have to have witnesses come in and do what we're going to describe in a couple seconds, he decided let's just set up a calendar. So that's what we have today. We don't have people coming in to our yeshiva and saying, hello, rabbis, we saw the beginning of the new moon, and you know what I mean? First of all, it anyway takes place in Eretz Yisrael, not over here in Miami. But what would happen in Eretz Yisrael, and they would bring to Beis Din, to the court, witnesses would come in and say when they just saw what looks like the beginning sliver of the new moon, the old moon, the last moon is done, that month is over. And since we follow, the Jewish calendar follows the lunar cycle, we don't follow the solar cycle, we don't follow the months based on the sun, we follow after the moon. So they would then test the witnesses and they would decide if this is actually the beginning of the month. Or maybe it's just some kind of something figment of their imagination or something else that they saw. Maybe, who knows, maybe it was a UFO they saw. All right. So Beis Din has to check out to make sure, did you see this? No, that was a UFO. That's not the moon. All right. Yes.
This mitzvah is only for Beis Din?
This is a mitzvah. That's a good question. Yes, it's a mitzvah on Beis Din. Sorry. Good point. Thank you. It is a mitzvah on Beis Din. It's not a mitzvah on Klal Yisrael. Huh?
When Mashiach comes, they're going to have to do it again?
That's correct. They're going to have to do it again.
But they're going to already know what they
But it's a special mitzvah to do. Okay. We're getting into something very, very good now. And that is, and so we were just talking about this. By the way, if the witnesses appeared on the 30th day of the previous month, then that day was called Rosh Chodesh also. They say, we saw it. So that's why you can have 2 days of Rosh Chodesh at the beginning of the month. You can have 2 beginning days of the month. So really it's because the 30th day from the last month is called still Rosh Chodesh, the beginning of the month, as well as the next day is also, because that's really the beginning of the month. Now, that's a whole, all right, we're not going to get into the science of it. But now, if no witnesses arrived on the 30th day, then Rosh Chodesh was automatically celebrated on the next day, the 31st. Now, you have to understand, the Torah made this, that we're really in charge. Beis Din, it's like we just said, he just made a very good point. Beis Din is the one that this is a mitzvah on. Beis Din has the power to decide as to when we are going to have our holidays. Because they're the ones who are going to determine if this is the beginning of when the beginning of the month is. And Beis Din also, based on this, also has another mitzvah to calculate the years, or the year, if we have to add an extra month as well, as we call a pregnant year, an Ibriyar, 13 months instead of 12 months. So, and that's another thing that's, today we already know based on Hillel's calculations, predetermined calendar, we already know that. And, but in those days, before Hillel did this, it was up to Beis Din to decide and determine, should we add an extra month to the year and make it instead of 12 months, but 13 months, to make sure that, again, like we said, this is all based on the holidays, that the holidays will come out a certain time during the year. And that makes sure that we don't have Sukkot.
Because Pesach is the mitzvah right there.
That's right, exactly. Since it's based on the lunar year and we're supposed to observe Yom Tov Pesach during the spring season, we have to sometimes add a month to make sure that Pesach is going to be in the spring season, and it shouldn't end up coming out. If you don't keep on adding months, Pesach could end